WebMaker in 5 minutes, in 5 slides. And I'm going to talk both about what is I think it is, what are some of the things that we need to build, and then some of the things that you can do to help for each part of it. So at the very highest of levels, the WebMaker is the umbrella for all of Mozilla's web literacy activities. So sometimes you think it's the tools or the curriculum or something, maker parties, but really it's the umbrella brand for all of our web literacy activities. So if you think that Mozilla underneath it has Firefox and Thunderbird and Firefox OS and WebMaker, go one level down. WebMaker has a bunch of things underneath it, which I'll talk about. And the main clusters of those things are really a program for people, mentors, the people who are out there teaching web literacy. So part number 1 is the people teaching web literacy in that umbrella of WebMaker. Part number 2 is really the curriculum, the content. What are we teaching, the teaching kits? And part number 3 is the tools, which often we start with, but actually I think is probably the least important part. So I'm going to go through each of those parts of WebMaker, say a little bit about where I think they're at. So first I'm going to go into the curriculum. So number 1 piece is we need to know what do we want to teach about web literacy. That's right now the resources section under the web literacy map. And as you probably know, it's really about people understanding the web, exploring, people building the web, and what we say is connecting, but I think is participating. So those are the 3 things we want to teach. And to me, the place we want to go is that we have the gold standard curriculum in the world of teaching these skills. Everybody, every school, everybody comes and uses Mozilla's curriculum. What can you do? Add to it. We're going to hire people and recruit in more people who are experts in curriculum, but that is an open source project. And so if you're there doing something with schools, add your teaching kit. If you're doing something with housewives, add your teaching kit. If you're doing it in a different language, add your teaching kit. And one very other important thing about the curriculum is it's not just the lesson part. It's also the starter makes. So if you do a cool thimble make or a cool app, throw it up as a new teaching kit. Because when somebody was saying before, like it would be better when you guys go through the tools, show a cool thing you made. Add the cool things you made into the teaching kit because they're better if there's cool stuff that people can make from. So that's the curriculum part. The next part is the software. So where we want to be, I'd say, a year or 2 years from now, is that Mozilla has the best kind of software for making things that people use for teaching, but also that they use for making anything else. So if we make App Maker and we're successful, lots of people will make apps for Firefox OS or for Android, but also it's optimized for teaching. And so one of the things we're actually talking about is making a version of Firefox or a bundle of apps for Firefox OS, which is basically Firefox for making and learning. We don't know where the tools are going to go, but really the idea is that we have tools that support this, not that the tools themselves matter. And one thing I think you guys can do, well, 2 things. One is pick the right tool for the right setting when you're teaching. Sometimes Popcorn's not interesting at all for a particular group. Sometimes you want to jump to App Maker. Sometimes if you have developers, get them making new templates and not new apps. Sometimes if it's with housewives, just teach them how to use the browser. So think about the right tool for the right thing. We just want to make sure Mozilla has all the right tools. The other thing you can do is help us be creative about what should those tools be. If we want to do Firefox for making and learning, what should we put in it? If we want to do a bundle on Firefox OS, what should we put in it? So help us with that. File bugs, reach out. Number 3 is the people. And there's a couple of ways to think about that. But the main thing is a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, we want the people who are associated to WebMaker, maybe who have all earned the WebMaker Super Mentor badge, to be the best in the world in teaching web literacy. And we want to have, it's a bad metaphor, but an army of those people. So where are we going right now is to look where we have the strongest concentrations and can get good at building up those people as leaders and get good at building up them as people who build out the WebMaker program with us. So that means working with people as they form hives, working with people in places like India where you're well organized, working with organizations like Boy Scouts or Code Club or YMCA or whatever, where they already have a lot of teachers who work with youth, and we can go and work with them systematically to develop the program. So our focus right now is wherever we can get good concentrations of people to help them really become good groups of webmaker mentors. I'm going to go to 6 minutes, and so on. And Hive is one way to do that. I'll go into that in a minute. But basically the way to think about Hive, or at least I think about it, is a group of people teaching digital literacy, using making and learning. Maybe they're also teaching science, all of those kind of things, but in a particular city. And so it's a network of those people in a city. So I'll come back to that. Oh, one last thing about the people. I heard about it a lot today. For us, the most important thing we're going to do in order to get to those bigger groups of people is offer a very good certification system, badges, for anybody who teaches. So one of the things we want to be able to say is if you're good at teaching web literacy, we're going to say you're good. If you get better at it and teach other people, we're going to say that. And really build up Mozilla certifications around WebMaker that you can use to get a job. If you're a teacher, you can use to get a promotion. That's a really critical focus for the next 6 months to 1 year to build that certification system out. And then the last thing I'm going to say, I know I'm past my time, but I'm going to use the liberty that I'm here, is the events piece I didn't mention as a part of WebMaker because it's central and it doesn't exist at all. What I mean by that is the 3 parts of WebMaker are the people network, the people who are teaching, the curriculum that you guys are making and using, the tools. We also have a core part which is events, so maker parties. We want those to go all year round. We can call them webmaker clubs, whatever. We're going to end the maker party season, but we're going to find a way to keep it going all year round. But the events are not a point in themselves. The events are a place where you can show all those things coming together. So at an event, you've got the people using the curriculum, getting people to make and learn with the tools. And so the events, maybe they evolve, maybe they go away. I don't think so. But it's really, a maker party is not a thing in itself. It's a way for us to show off what we're doing, to do actual teaching, to make the curriculum and tools better, and to spark people to then, somebody said before, give people homework. I think Clarice said that, to get people on go and do this after the event. So the events are really meant to catalyze, focus, get better, move into the future. Come back again, catalyze, focus, get better. So that is the end of my 6.2 minutes of WebMaker summary. But as you can see, I think we're trying to get crisper about what it is, to see that it's an umbrella, that I see that it has these elements of curriculum, tools, people, and to get you guys to help us build it out into the future. So thank you very much, and I will take questions.